Good morning, everyone. A good Vach, Shavua Tov. We are continuing here in the inspiring and uplifting words of the Meshiv Nefesh. And today's learning is based upon the words of the Das Torah, which is Rabbi Yerucham Levovitz, one of the greatest mashkichim that ever lived in the last 120 years from the yeshiva system in the Mir Yeshiva. And he's writing specifically to boys that are sitting and learning in yeshiva, but I believe that we can extrapolate the idea and the message to all of us as well. And he writes fascinating words. Ki yoim b'doresenu hakoy afelim. Today in our generation, which is so dark, af im kol miut gedulusenu, even with all of our tininess, when it comes to the godless, the greatness that we're trying to reach, Hinenu tzadikim gemorim, you should know that we are completely righteous individuals. We're smaller than the previous generations. We know less than the previous generations. We accomplished less than the previous generations. Yet, tzadikim gemorim, we are completely righteous people. Ben yeshiva kayoim, a young man who's sitting and learning in yeshiva today, and this is going back already 100 years ago. That a person who sits and learns Torah today and he goes and delves into the words of the great people from previous generations and farther back. Even though he works hard and he tries to understand what the Torah is talking about, but he still can't reach full clarity. Nevertheless, at the end of the day, it's likely. Says Rabbi Yerucham, it's very possible that the person who's in our generation, who's learning the words of the previous generation, and imagine a person today is learning the holy words of the Ramban, the way that he understands something in the Chumash, the way that he understands something in the Talmud. Even if you don't understand the Ramban's words completely, it's very likely that you could be considered greater than the Ramban himself. The emes ki ein safek b'zeh, says Rabbi Yerucham, I have no doubt about this, but we shouldn't talk about this too much, because we might become very conceited and haughty when we think to ourselves that we're greater than someone who lived 1,000 years ago and is recognized as the master of Torah for all generations. But that's how a person should think about themselves. Certainly, this is the way that it works. When we live in such darkened times, a person lets out one oy in his davening. He puts in one little extra effort into his learning. He controls one little midah. He's about to get angry and he just controls himself the most that he can. You have no idea what it's able to be paya, what it does, the impact that it has on the heavenly realms. Boys, young men that are sitting and learning in yeshiva today, they should know that certainly they've reached higher levels than the gedolim, than the great leaders that lived in this world before us. And it's not only talking about for the yeshiva boys, it's talking about for all the young women also, of course, that are sitting in the Beis Yaakov, that are sitting in their own schools, that are learning, that are working on themselves, that are trying to grow. And it's talking about every single Jew in our generation, no matter where they are, no matter what level they're holding on, as long as a person is making effort in the world of Yiddishkeit, of Judaism, of Torah and of mitzvahs, you can be guaranteed that whoever you compare yourself with from the previous generations, you're on a higher level than they are. The most honest and sincere and elevated balabas, which means regular, down-to-earth fellow or women who lived in a previous generation, who woke up in the morning and they went to pray, and then they went to work 12, 13 hours a day, and then they came home and they learned for a few hours, and they were nice to their wife, and they were good to their children, and they paid their tuition, and they gave tzedakah, and they did everything according to the ehrlichkeit, the beauty of the Torah. You should know, if you are working hard in this world to emulate those ways and to try to be the best Jew that you can be, you're greater than the previous generations. Your fear of Hashem, your awe of the Ribbono Shel Olam, your simcha, your joy from Torah and from mitzvahs, your chesed that you do, the Torah that you learn, the midos, the character traits that you control, it's exponentially enormous in our generation. We don't want to become balei gaiva, we don't want to become too haughty when we think about this, but we should know that truth. How beautiful and beloved our actions are in this world, because we're actually elevated above and beyond what the previous generations were able to reach. Wishing everybody a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and a wonderful experience of Avodas Hashem, our service of God. All the best.